Hello everyone, welcome to this week's webinar. I'm here with Brenndan Cooper at Tiffany Greens Golf Club in Kansas City, Missouri. And as usual, we're brought to you by Medicus Golf and KickX Golf. And today we're going to talk about the three most important positions. Now, impact is the ultimate goal, but you have positions that can vary. And these positions are basically the only time in the golf swing that they are static. Other than that, they're moving it all the time.
Right.
So even through impact, I mean, that is not a static position. So we define those as address, top, and finish. Because obviously we know that address, we're static until we get a little kickstart. Finish, we're static, unless we hit a bad shot and then go like that. And top, we're static because any top before it starts down is a brief moment where nothing's moving as far as the club. So that's why I would say the three most important positions are address, top, and finish. So if you set up for a putt, for example, we have an address position, okay, and now he makes a backstroke. Well, there's the top, and now he goes to the finish. If we go to a chipping stroke, it's the same thing. We have an address, a top, and a finish. And if he goes to a pitching stroke, address, top, and finish. Now in motion, although you don't see it rarely with the naked eye, when you change direction of the club, there's a brief moment where it stops before it goes the other way. And then of course we have full swing. We have address, top, and then finish. Boom. So those are the three most important positions. Now, let's talk about address position, for example. You can vary your address position. Some people would chip kind of with the shaft kind of in the middle and the feet close together like this. Some people will chip the feet closer together and the ball back here. Those are still address positions.
Yep.
Right? Some people in full swing are going to start here. Some people are going to start here. And some people are going to start here.
Yeah.
Those are still all address positions.
Just variations.
It's just a variation of address. And then you have all the top positions. Again, top, it doesn't mean it across the line or laid off or any of those things. I mean, and we have a question here by air that I'm going to answer in a minute. But, you know, the top of the golf swing, again, is that time when the club basically stops in the transition before it's coming down.
Right. Which
will then define the start down.
Yeah.
Right? So those are three things that doesn't matter what you do, all shots have those three things, right? Something you want to add to that?
No, I mean, like Chuck's talking about, you know, those are always positions that you can definitely monitor. I mean, those are definitely the setup and the top are probably the two most common things that people are always looking at.
Right.
You know, it's like, where am I at up here? You know, so there's certain alignments that, you know, depending on what type of player, what type of ball flight you're wanting, that you need to have. But, you know, always, you know, just watch and, you know, see what it is you're trying to do with where you are plane wise or what have you. And,
right.
And that's a position you can look at.
Yeah, and the finish is the same way. I mean, you might hit a shot where your finish is more here. You might hit a shot where it's more here, and you might hit a shot where it's more here. Well, those are variations of finish as well.
Yeah.
So you have variations of address. The top really is not a variation. How you get there is a variation. And but the finish has variations too. So you just have to figure out in your stroke, look at which of those three you're doing, try to match them up a little bit, and then make the pieces work together.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of questions here today. So let me take a look at some of these. And sorry if I get in the camera's line of sight here. All right, so the first one is from John, Boynton Beach. I have a neutral grip, but at the top I come across the line and have it open club face. My toe of the club is pointing up at the halfway mark, and I can't figure out why it gets open from halfway to the top. And I usually have a very nice push slice. Well, John.
A nice push slice.
Yeah, at least your path is coming from the inside. Okay. So let's talk about this. So the toe up, if you'll stand right here and just go to toe up. If you go to toe up, that's actually an open position relative to the arc you're swinging on. So the first thing you want to do when you take the club back, go ahead and start again, is you want to feel like the club stays looking at the ball. We call it looking at the ball longer in the backswing. Now from there, you need to make sure that you take your right hand is going to control this across the line move. You're going to take your right hand and feel like you're going to go this way with it, all right, which is over here. People that cross the line, their right hand goes this way. So that's the difference between your right hand being here versus the right hand being there. So if I take my right hand here, and now I take this right hand and twist it this way, that's going to be across the line.
Yep.
Now, having said that, you can definitely get away with that. I mean, Shane Lowry just won last week, right? Freddie Couples has gotten away with it for a number of years.
Yeah.
So that's not as big a deal as you think. So the other way to do that, if you're going to continue to do the toe up, once you get here again, feel like you take your right hand, you're going to go this way with it, almost like your palm's going up. Yep. And then from there, as you start down, feel like your right palm is turning downward. And that will put the face right back down to where we had it in the backswing. Right, so you can do either one of those, whichever one's easiest for you to do.
Yeah, and notice when we were doing it, you got to feel it through what the hands are doing. It's not a get up here and do it through shoulders going through outside.
Right. So I hope that answers, John. All right, let's see what our next question is. Next question is from David. Developed a sudden and unexpected shank on the wedges. Have slowed everything down, decreased backswing, focused on not looking up. This has caused a very tentative swing and 25% reduction. All right, so let's talk about what you can do for the shank and what causes that, okay? You take it away, Brenndan.
Well, effective drill, I mean, obviously when we're setting up, if we hit the shank, we're catching it in the hosel, so that, it either could be the face is moving outward away from us, or we're coming in and the face is too open. So one thing you can do, and this is a very effective drill, is if you take two balls and put them about 4 inches apart, and what you'll do is set up to the outside ball just like it's the one you're going to hit. So I'm going to do my normal setup, and then you're going to do your normal backswing, so you're at our top position that we just talked about. And now from here, you're going to try to hit the inside ball. So it's a very simple, effective drill. And what that's going to do, like I was saying earlier, is if we're hitting it towards the hosel, then either one, when I start my downswing, my weight could be getting on my toes, and I could be pushing myself closer to the ball. Or if it's not my toes, I simply could just be throwing my hands and arms out like so, catching it in the hosel there. So this is, by doing this little 2-ball drill, it's going to kind of keep you in balance and keep the hands and arms on a pretty good path.
Right, and you could also be someone that is coming too much from inward to outward in the downswing. So the club head gets way behind you here, and you have no roll coming through it. So when you do that, it just leads the hosel through there.
Yeah.
So you could also be severely underplaying, although that's not typical unless you're a pretty good player.
Yeah, we see that with better lower handicap players. It could be a tendency, so definitely want to watch that for sure.
Right. All right, let's check our next question here. John, what is a good drill to keep me from hitting the ground before I hit the ball? Sometimes I do it even with a driver. Well, so you can take this 2-ball drill that we just did. You can place this ball back on your back ankle, and as you come down, a couple of things have to happen. In order not to hit the ball heavy, we have to have a couple things. We have to have more pressure into the forward side. We have to have the hands farther forward. Remember, if I'm pushing the club head down and my hands are back here, I'm going to hit back there. If I have my hands here and I push the club down, I'm going to hit up here. So you want to try to get your hands forward, your pressure forward, and a good way to feel that is to set up with a golf ball normally, put another ball behind and slightly inside that original line. Set up to the first ball, Now make sure you miss that ball coming down and strike the second one.
Mhm.
So that'll get you to move your weight more forward and get a little bit steeper angle of attack in
Yeah.
the golf ball.
And that's very, very effective.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Whoops, almost fell. Turn this club the other way. All right, this one is from Air. Oh, wait a minute, here, we're going back. Let me go back again. This is from John. Best way to train yourself to have a proper swing technique. Start with short pitch shots, bigger shots, and slow full swings. So in other words, if you had a brand new student new to the game, what would be your procedure? Well, I mean, you basically covered it right there.
Summed it up nicely, really.
You know, we like to teach from the whole back instead of from the tee forward.
Mhm.
So we're going to start with the shortest stroke there is, which is a putt. You know, and we're going to get them to feel whatever alignments. If they want to start with a bent wrist, as long as it remains that same amount of bent, that's equivalent of flat. We don't want them to do any of this flipping motion, so we try to get that done in a putt. Then we'll do it with a chip, with the handle leaning forward just a touch, having them go to both arms straight. And so this is not only follow through, but it's finish in this shot.
Mhm.
Then from there, we'll increase the length to a pitch. And again, we're trying to go to follow through, both arms straight. And once they've done that, then we go on up to the full swing.
Yeah.
So we always start with the shortest thing and move it up, because if you find it hard to not do this in a swing that's going from here to here, so in other words, this way, how in the world are you going to stop it from a swing that's 20 feet up?
Yeah, and let alone going twice as fast.
Yeah. So yes, small swings, work your way back. All right, this next one is from Air, I believe. Yeah. There is some talk about 3 imperatives, 3 essentials in golf. Is this the same as positions? No, it is not. Your 3 most important positions should be among these 6 I have mentioned, but not explained. I'll leave that to you. Okay, so 3 imperatives, 3 essentials. 3 imperatives are basically what we call a flat left wrist, a straight plane line, and what's called a club head lag pressure point. Okay, that has nothing to do with address, setup, or finish. The essentials are steady head, balance, and rhythm. Okay, so again, that really doesn't have anything to do with the 3 things that we talked about earlier. All right, so what you want to find out is you have what's called a straight plane line. In every shot you have a plane line, and that's the bottom of that roof we always talk about with the gutter. So a straight plane line simply means it doesn't have a lot of curves and bends to it. Now, that doesn't mean that you could start here and go to here. Well, these are still straight. They're just pointing to the right. That's still straight, still pointing to the left.
Yeah.
All right, so those are still straight plane lines. They're just rotated
Yeah.
They're called rotated plane lines. So all of those things you should have in a stroke. When we talk about this lag pressure, lag by definition simply means trailing. The club head is trailing your hands through impact. So a way to monitor that is through your trailing index finger. If you put it to the side of the shaft and you take it up and you lean the shaft a little bit, you're going to feel pressure against this finger. Anytime you throw the club head past your hands, you lose the feel or the pressure in that finger. So if you look at it like this, and we've talked about this before, so go ahead and set up, Brenndan. So as he is set up, and let's face the camera. There we go.
Okay.
All right, so now tell me where, let me ask you, so you have pressure in these 3 hands, or these 3 fingers, right?
I only have 2 hands.
Okay.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have pressure from the heel pad against the thumb.
Yep.
You have pressure from the right forefinger against the shaft.
Yep.
All right, now here's the deal. All of these are behind the shaft. The fingers and the pressure against the thumb, they are all behind the shaft. So if I wanted to move the grip into the shaft ahead of the club head, would I have the pressure behind it, or would I have the pressure in front of it, which would go this way? Right? If these are applying pressure to the front side, it'd drag them back.
Yeah.
Right?
You feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want the pressure behind the shaft with everything that's holding the golf club. Okay. All right. Let's see. It looks like we have one more, so let me get to it. And we've already answered that, Dave. That was about your shank. So I think we're pretty good to go on that. So anything you want to say in conclusion?
No, I think, we've got, like Chuck mentioned before, I mean, impact is definitely an important spot.
Right.
I don't want to call it a position because
Right.
it's definitely important, but what goes on with the three positions we talked about can definitely affect what's going on through the impact area.
Right. And they're not definitive positions as
Right.
far as you have to do this, this, and this, because those positions can also have variations.
Yeah.
So, sorry about the Cowboys listening.
It's preseason, man.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
preseason.
Chiefs are on Saturday night, so I may be saying the same thing next week.
It's preseason.
All right, so anyway, football's coming up. Let's go. Let's get ready for some football, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.